Hello, my name is Georgette and I'm a diabetes specialist dietitian from the West Hampshire Community Diabetes Service. In these short videos, I'm going to cover how to improve your carbohydrate awareness and give you an introduction to carbohydrate counting. The main nutrient in food that affects your blood glucose level is carbohydrate. Most foods contain a mixture of protein, fat and carbohydrate. But foods containing mainly protein and fat have a minimal effect on blood glucose levels compared to foods containing carbohydrate. Carbohydrates, carbs, are mainly found in starchy and sugary foods. They are digested into glucose and appear in your bloodstream between 10 minutes and 2 hours or more after eating and are our main source of glucose for energy. In a person without diabetes, their pancreas will release precisely the right amount of insulin to regulate the level of blood glucose. If you have type 1 diabetes, you need to be able to think like your pancreas and inject the correct amount of fast-acting insulin to match the foods that you are eating. So, which foods contain carbohydrate? Starchy foods such as rice, pasta, noodles, all types of bread, breakfast cereals, oats and couscous, crackers and anything made with flour such as a pizza base, pastry, thickened sauces, soups and potatoes. Sugary foods and drinks made with ordinary sugar, also called sucrose. These foods include things like cakes, biscuits, chocolate, sweets, any jam or marmalade, puddings, desserts, jelly, squashes, any fizzy drinks, as well as sugars that are found naturally in things such as honey or unsweetened fruit juices. The other type of sugar can be found in things like fruit, which contains a natural sugar called fructose. All fruit, such as fresh, dried and tinned, will increase blood glucose levels after eating. There is another type of natural sugar found in things like milk and yoghurt, and it's called lactose. All milk products, whether full fat, semi-skimmed or skimmed, and products made from milk, such as custard and ice cream, contain carbohydrates. Not all foods contain carbohydrates, so anything that's a protein does not affect your blood glucose levels, so things like meat or fish, eggs, nuts. However, some protein foods do have carbohydrate added during the processing, so these may be something that's cereal or flour in sauces or sausages, breadcrumbs on fish, fish fingers or pastry items such as pies, pasties, quiche and sausage rolls. For processed foods, you can often check food labels for more information if you're unsure whether they contain carbohydrates or not. The other food group that don't contain carbohydrates are your fats. So fat has little effect on glucose levels after eating, but eating large amounts can slow the digestion of a meal and make your blood glucose levels rise more gradually. So examples of high-fat meals which could have this effect would include things like fish and chips, or maybe a burger and some fries, or a large pizza, or any takeaways such as a Chinese or Indian, which are often made with large quantities of oil or fat. Other foods classed as fats are things like oils and spreads, including things like butter or any kind of cheese or cream, as these don't contain any carbs because they've had the lactose removed during processing. So there are always exceptions to the rule. So in general, most people find they don't need to count the carbs in any vegetables. In particular, foods such as beans, lentils, sweet corn and any root vegetables, although they may contain small amounts of carbohydrates, when these are broken down, they release glucose at a very slow rate, meaning there is no need to count them in the same way. So for these foods, we recommend observing your individual response, which will often depend on the overall portion size consumed, as well as your individual sensitivity to insulin.